Hey, folks, have you ever felt like when you're running a transaction, you're working with your clients, you're working with your team, it's just like running in mud? Not everybody's on the same page. Well, today we're going to talk about that because whether you're a real estate team or you're leading yourself as a solo agent with your clients, companies, inspectors, lenders, and so forth, leadership is the key to driving successful transactions. Leadership isn't just about managing people, it's about creating a culture of accountability, trust, and influencing everyone around you to perform at their best. That's why today we're diving into how you can lead with impact to inspire and motivate everyone involved in your real estate business. Hey everyone, my name is Justin Lethby, and today what we are going to talk about is leading your group. As I hinted at earlier, I find this interesting because it becomes a challenge every day for us to do that. We're going through so many changes. We are going through so much turmoil, I guess, for lack of a better term, that when we are having these conversations, it is more than necessary to get our team on the same page. Again, today, whether we are talking about yourself as a team lead, yourself as a managing broker owner of an office, or you are a solo agent, we are all leading teams because some of us are literally leading quote unquote traditional teams, but other of us are working with a bunch of other independent thinkers that are chasing the same goal, but may not look at it from our perspective necessarily. And not that our perspective means ours, I mean ours as a group. So that's what I felt like it was necessary to talk about today. Now, before I dive too deep into this conversation, I do want you to think about it from one perspective. There is a really good book out here. Let me see if I can find it. Developing a Leader Within 2.0. And early in this book, it actually talks about John Maxwell's 5 levels of leadership. And this teaches us about that leadership journey. And it's really not about the title or the position. It's about how we work together, how we influence each other, and how we can be motivated to strive to look to be better, bigger, stronger, right? So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. Now, the 5 levels of leadership inside that book. Number 1 is position. This is people follow because you got the title, right? They follow you because you're a realtor. They follow you because you're the managing broker. They follow you because you're the CEO of XYZ. Whatever it is, that's why they follow you. Well, it's great. They do follow you, and that's absolutely no problem. It is considered the lowest level of leadership, and it's usually based on authority or title. This level, if you don't do something else, will only have people follow you so far, only work so hard, only work to do so much, right? Because you got told to do something, not because they want to do something or they understand how to do something or the why behind it, right? This is a challenging level. Level 2 is permission. This is where people follow because they want to. You've earned their trust and they respect you enough because you've built that relationship, right? So that permission, they'll work and do various things for you. The next level is production. At this level, people follow because what you've done for the organization, the results you've produced, the leadership you have done. They have learned, they have watched, they understand who you are, and they trust you just that much more because you have a proven process, a proven success rate, so to speak. So next one is people development. This is leadership's learned that we got to grow others around us. I used this in an installation speech not too long ago. My dad taught me very early in life when I was a young kid. He had one huge philosophy when he was in management was he always had to find his replacement. And I pretty much live by this one. I'm always looking to grow, help other people. It's kind of probably what I do today, where I absolutely try to make sure I help grow other people because if I'm looking to strive to bigger, better things, I got to have someone also looking to strive to be better, bigger things so they can fill in where I can't go anymore. So these are things that are helping. Now, next one is pinnacle. This is considered the highest level. This is people follow you because of who you are and what you represent, right? That vision, that image that you have in place. This is why they're there. Those are the 5 levels: position, permission, production, people development, and pinnacle are the 5 levels of leadership in John Maxwell. And again, I hear you guys, a lot of you guys are going to say, well, I'm not a leader. Well, you are. You're a leader because you are leading a transaction. You are leading an office. You are leading a team. We are all leaders. That's what it is. All right. So I've got 5, 6-ish things that we are going to talk about as far as principles I want you to understand when you're trying to build that leadership. The first one, lead by example. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the ways, and shows the way. This is huge for us. So if we're not willing to take the steps necessary, if we're not willing to go put the sign in the yard or go put the lockbox on or go sit in an open house to lead generate, how are people going to work with you? If you're not willing to go walk over to the house or drive your car to the house and get paperwork signed, how are you going to expect the rest of your team to do that, right? So lead by example is one of the foremost positions in here at all times. This will help, right? This is a production level. They know what you are, the title, and you're willing to do it. So how do you apply this? Well, team leaders, show them how you handle objections. Show them how you manage that client relationship and follow up consistently. Show them what your behavior is, what your attitude is, how you're always energized and you're looking forward and excited about the results for the day or what you're doing. I'm also going to say, because I see this a lot, folks, and I'm going to talk specifically for half a second to my quote unquote big leaders in the office, right? Owners, managing brokers, things like that. Everyone in your office is always watching what you do. So if you have a meeting or you bring training in or you do something like this and all you're doing is running around and you're not participating and you're not paying attention and maybe your laptop's open and you're working at the same time, your agents are watching. This is leading by example, and they're going to start following the same thing. So they're always going to be there. If you're absent, you show up late, they're going to be there. These are examples that we need to make sure we're being done. My solo agents out there, if you don't have a 4 team, don't worry about it. You can still lead. You can show your clients how we're doing things. Be on time to all showings. Be there. Be proactive. Start thinking outside the box. Start communicating effectively. Respond quickly. This does not mean that you don't set hours and expectations, right? If you have hours, like you work from 9 to 9, if someone reaches out at 10, lead by example. Don't answer after 10. That's okay. This is going to show you leadership by influencing positive outcome for the transaction, setting the right expectations, and showing them you will get it done. Next one, build trust and relationship. This is that permission level that we're talking about. Leadership is about taking responsibility, not making excuses. This ties specifically, like I said, in the permission level, where people will follow you because they trust and respect you. So again, my team leads, my owners, my brokers, things like that, please be transparent, be empathetic, be around. Show the team that you value their contributions and are invested in their success. I remember the first office I joined, I've been a trainer for years, and they knew it. And one day they were getting really busy and they asked if I could sit in and teach the class. It went a long way for me because they put faith in me to do a job for them. It was one of the best relationships and trust builds I saw that I have ever seen inside that area. It worked tremendously well. It was simple. It was done. I don't know if it was done intentionally. I know them well enough. They became friends of mine. I think it was, but it was impressive because it meant a lot. Agents, talk to your clients. Again, one of my best ways I always say to build trust in those relationships is forward: family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Make sure you're asking those questions, understanding who they are, what they want, what their jobs are, what they do for a hobby, what their dreams are, besides buying a house. Maybe that is the biggest dream I have, but outside that, what else do they want to do? Communicate with them. Share them yours. That's a reciprocal situation. Your clients are going to be more likely to refer to you if they feel a genuine connection and trust you in a leadership. One of my favorite quotes by John Maxwell is, people do not care about how much you know until they know how much you care about them. And this is something you can do to prove that. 3, our production level. Create a culture of accountability. Accountability is hard. From team leaders, you can set expectation of your team, right? So if you're a team lead, you can tell them what they need to do. You got to have measurable goals. How many phone calls they're making a day, how much they're doing, how often are they sending information. You can give them regular feedback on how they're doing. When your team members know that they are accountable for those results, they will rise to the occasion. Now, for my broker owners, stuff like that, I'm going to tell you right now, you can still set those same expectations. I know offices, a very successful office, they do have expectations on success, right? How many transactions, how much they're doing. And if they're not hitting it, they will ask them to move on. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to say you're going to have to set those rules and be consistent with it, but it will work. I'm not saying it's the only way to do it, by the way, either, because some people like to build and nurture and grow those people and give them time. Either way is fine, but setting those rules, setting those expectations are up, because I've seen it time and time again. When you set those expectations and have them being accountable, it's that way. You can also reverse the role. You can talk to some of your best people in your office, and they can help you be accountable, right? What are we doing? How are we doing this? What are we doing? They can help you. You can be a two-way conversation. Again, for yourself as your clients, you're doing that every day with your transaction. Hopefully you're letting know the buyer process, when, where, how they need to respond to these things, setting that up, keeping track of that progress and show what's going on. If you're working with your business partners, same thing. You set those expectations. You're having those conversations on a consistent basis. It's going to help. So do make sure you do that. I'm going to tell you right now, the next one is invest in that team growth. Now, it doesn't have to be financial. Leaders become great not because of their power, but because their ability to empower others. People development is one of the good answers. One of the biggest things I've seen out there in a while, where leadership is defined by how well we develop others. So what I want you to think about, owners, what are you doing for that training? For most of us, we have requirements, state laws that will tell us we have to do a certain amount of education. We got to get this done for our offices, things like that. So you have that. But what are you doing beyond that? Are you partnering with other offices? Are you partnering with your local association to give training and help build their skills? And I am not talking about your CE. I'm talking about beyond your CE. What we want to do is teach our offices, our teams, to know that they should be growth minded. We want to teach that and help encourage that stuff. So help them get there. Now, it doesn't have to cost anything necessarily, right? You could come in and do a weekly training yourself and put that in there. For my solo agents, take opportunity in some of the free stuff. You can continuously grow out there. Again, CE, you can take other classes out there. Currently, when this goes out, ABR for NAR is a free class. Take advantage of it, right? Are you taking advantage of things that are being presented in front of you? I know me in the state of Illinois, I'm an Illinois agent. We can actually go to a lot of our conferences for free. So we can do a lot of growth from there as well. Now, some of the extra things we do there do cost money, but just going to the event a lot of times are free. And that goes a long ways for that and for building your skill and getting that. You also can just find a mentor, right? It doesn't really have to be face-to-face mentors. Again, I consider John Maxwell, I'm on his team. I consider him one of my mentors. And with that, it gives me a lot. I read a lot of his books. It helped me get to a different level. So take those times, invest in your growth, your team's growth. Last but not least, do make sure that you are having a vision. People will buy into a leader before they buy into the vision. But here's what I'm going to tell you about that. Leaders have visions. So we've done everything else up to this, so they're going to buy into you. Once you do that, you can have that vision. Tell them what you see. What goals do you see? How do you see you and your team affecting the community around you? How do you see success looking? How do you see the energy of your team being? What does that vision look like? Again, this year I've had the lucky privilege of becoming president of my association. That's what the LFT on this hat stands for, leading forward together. That is the vision I am portraying for everybody out there. I believe we are stronger together. I believe we will get more done together. And I believe we can go further together. It's, as I said in my speech, it's not a mantra. It's a belief. It's a vision. It's what it is. When you do that, we'll work harder for you. If you have those visions, we will stand up harder for you. We will strive further for you. It's what will happen. If you're an agent on your own, again, you still got your team. You got your mortgage people, your inspectors, things like that. You're going to have that team. Now, again, your clients choose, right? Your clients choose that stuff, but you're going to have an arsenal of people. Let them know what your vision is, how you believe you work with clients, why that value works, why you have your system of belief and why you're doing it. You can incorporate them into that. You can do it. I did a long time ago. I had a mortgage guy that wanted to meet with me, and I said, look, hey, that's great. We can talk, but we're not going to talk about what your products are. We're going to talk about how this works as a team and what it looks like and how we're going to do it. This particular person chose to ignore it, gave me a bunch of stuff. It was not the last time I talked to him, but it was pretty much the last time because we weren't on the same page. It's not wrong. Did not do anything wrong. That's not what it is. But that wasn't, we didn't synergize, right? We didn't have that. So it can be that. I also want you to think just personally about yourself. What does it look like? What does your business look like in 5 years? Don't be afraid to share that vision with your clients, your business partners. It will inspire them. It will give them confidence in them, and it will believe in your leadership. So don't be afraid to do that. All right. As you can see, leadership is not a title. It's about influence, nothing more, nothing less. That's what John Maxwell tells us. It's going to help you have that trust and personal growth. By applying these leadership principles, whether you're leading a team or guiding your clients and partners, you can create a culture of success. Leadership is a journey. And as John Maxwell teaches us, it's about continuously growing, influencing, developing those around us. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to take time, reflect on what your leadership style is. Please remember, there is no criticism. There is no critiquing the 5 levels, but hopefully there is inspiration and aspirations to grow from that conversation. As you are leading by example, building trust, and helping us grow others, what I want you to start thinking about is, what does your team look like? What can you do a little bit differently? How can you help them, or how can we help them go further and farther? I hope you found this helpful. If you did, like, subscribe, and join me in my next coming class or videos. Also, by the way, we are doing a big push right now because I will be having a class coming soon. The Real Estate Business Blueprint is going to be an online self-paced class that you're going to be able to take where you learn and dive into a lot of this. So with that, hope you guys have a great day. Write what level you think you are in the comments, and we will talk soon.